welcome the faculty staff, together with guests, the Honorable Senator of the Republic of the Philippines, Bongbong.
Thank you very much to the former Congressman, Hans Christian Señeres, for his very kind introduction. And thank you very much for your very kind welcome. Mr. Federico Señeres Sr., the President of this great institution of learning, Mr. Federico Señeres Jr., who is now the Vice President for Administration, Mrs. Josephine Señeres, the Treasurer and Registrar of this school, Director Ampuyas, who is of the TESDA, Region 12, my fellow Waray, who has found his way all the way here to Tacloban, Dr. Maximo Aguibe, who is the Director of the CHED Region 12, Mr. Gildo Musqueda, School Division Superintendent, the faculty and administration of the Southern Mindanao Institute of Technology, of course, the graduates, but I always reserve a special greeting for the parents, without whom this day would never have come to these very lucky young men and women. Thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me to this very important event of this great institution of learning. Indeed, it is a momentous event for all the graduates and their families. In almost 2 months from now, we will witness once again our midterm elections, which means that by June 30, we will return to the Senate and resume the hectic pace of our legislative work. This time for the 16th Congress of the Philippines, where we shall welcome a new batch of 12 senators. That is why I welcome this rare but fresh opportunity and most welcome opportunity to share my thoughts with you, your families, and school officials on this very special day. You may not know it, but we have held the Señeres name high, in very high esteem, not only because of their active dynamism in the arena of public service, but most especially due to the family's pioneering efforts in the field of education in Mindanao, evidenced by the founding of this great institution, the Southern Mindanao Institute of Technology. But what impressed me even more when I was going over the pages of the history of your institute was the fact that the SMIT was established primarily to meet the pressing need to improve the quantity and quality of private education in the provinces of Sultan Kudarat, here in Mindanao, taking off from the experience gained by your founders and bringing to Mindanao the high standards of academic excellence. Indeed, your province and city have been most fortunate to have benefited largely from the wisdom and vision of the Señeres family, bringing quality education to the youth and families of this region of our country without having to dislocate or relocate. I take my hat off to you, dear graduates, for having afforded yourself the chance and taking advantage of the opportunity right here in your province to help your beloved parents in acquiring that most important asset, the asset of knowledge and wisdom that a good education brings. I salute your fathers and mothers for the guidance they have provided you and the encouragement they continue to give you to pursue the noble objective of acquiring the power of knowledge through this institute. As each of you accept your diploma this afternoon, please be grateful for this great blessing that has been showered upon you. Most importantly, be always mindful of the fact that this blessing and this opportunity goes with a responsibility that you carry as a concerned and a proactive member of your province, and most of all, as a citizen of our beloved country. Today, as those who have graduated last year, you have been christened the Millennial generation, or the Millennials for short. You are the generation of all those born between 1981 and 2001 and who are now at the frontiers of internationalization and globalization. The name Millennials is fitting for two reasons. One, you and your counterparts all over the world are the last group of children born in the 20th century. Also, you are the first generation that has come of age in this new millennium. Third, you are the first generation in human history who regard behavior like tweeting and texting, along with websites like Facebook, YouTube, Google, and Wikipedia, not as astonishing innovations of the digital era, but as everyday parts of your social lives and your search of knowledge. More than any other generation before you, your generation is more technologically savvy and astute, and technology has always been part of your lives, whether it is computers or the internet, cell phones or tablets. Millennials, it has been observed by sociologists, are good at multitasking. You have successfully juggled academics, sports, social interests throughout your schooling. So you can be counted on to work very hard. According to a fellow in the Brookings Institute, it can safely be forecast that the millennials will change our world. By the same token, I believe also that your generation here in our country is destined to change our nation and its standing in the world. Your generation is destined to change our country and accomplish great and exciting things in the world stage for two reasons. First, your generation today is the mirror image of the generation at the turn of the 19th century that gave us Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, Emilio Aguinaldo, Apolinario Mabini, and so many other heroes and heroines who have led our people to nationhood. Like you, Rizal and his company were no more than young men and women when they heeded the call to service and heroism. Together, they dared to dream of the day when the Philippines would be independent, a free nation recognized by the world. Together, they laid the socio-economic and political foundation of our nation. Like you also do now, during the last 2 decades of the 19th century, they stood on the edge of a new era of great change and promise, which heralded tidal changes in world affairs, science, culture, and technology. Similarly, you young graduates are coming of age at a time of great change in our country and in the world at large. The technology revolution and globalization have brought forth great new challenges before our country and before you. Now is a time when the world center of gravity is shifting from Europe over to East Asia. And we are part of this new center of gravity. No less than the World Bank and major financial institutions have declared that the Philippines today has a great window of opportunity to accelerate its pace of economic development. If our national leaders can marshal the will and imagination to muster the great forces of change, we will see an unparalleled period of job creation and dynamic growth. Individually, for our people, especially for young people like you, this era offers the promise and the chance to fulfill your dreams. This is a propitious time to focus your attention on the great cares of life, on the future that you want to be yours, the life and the career that you want to have, the family you want to start, and the kind of person you want to be for your family, your institution, and your country as a participant in the community of nations. Too many people shrink as they grow older or become more successful. They narrow their area of concern to just me and mine. This is a bad mistake. Our interests should not become narrower and narrower until the only interest that we actually pursue is self-interest. I believe public service and citizenship, as well as participation in the global network, is meaningless without this sense of growing to touch and affect the lives of others in the broadest sense. One teacher has said that each of us has something precious to give and share with others. He wrote, "We have so much more to give than mere money, even if only a gracious gesture which we can give to all by way of saluting and responding and respecting the basic dignity of every human being." It was his conclusion was this powerful and unforgettable observation. None of us is so poor that we have nothing to give. None of us is so rich that we are not in need. So, dear friends and graduates, inculcate in yourself that spirit of giving. Because all of us want reform. All of us want change for the better to happen in our country and even in the international stage. Our forthcoming elections will once again give us the opportunity to let this happen. You will ask and wonder, what can one person do to make our country and our world a better place? What can you really do to make a difference? The answer is very simple. You can do a great deal. It has been said that in each of us, all the centuries coalesce. In each of us, all the future centuries have their beginnings. In the eyes of our Creator, we are not statistics. We are each the object of God's care and of God's compassion. We each have extraordinary capacities and all kinds of latent force. We each have the power to transform our lives, and we can each make a decisive difference in this world. So my dear friends and graduates, think about this in the coming days as you reflect on what you are going to do with your lives as you pursue your future careers. Believe always, because it is true, that you as an individual alone can make a difference. We all possess enormous potential, power, energy within ourselves. If we utilize that power, we can indeed effect decisive change within ourselves. But together, we can make our country and our world a better place. Through continued education and technological advancement, we can ensure the more rapid pace of economic development for our country and for our people. You must also be active and dynamic participants in our common task of nation building. Let me once again extend my sincerest congratulations for your successful graduation from this great institution. To the President, trustees, and officials of Southern Mindanao Institute of Technology in this beautiful southern city of Tacloban, and to the parents of our fortunate graduates, go our highest respect and deepest thanks for the gift of affordable but quality education that you have given to the most deserving of our children in the province of Sultan Kudarat and the neighboring provinces that comprise the big island of Mindanao. But a grateful nation also thanks you for providing the training for our future workforce that will bring us, hopefully, to the dreams that we have dreamt for our country. More power to you all. My sincerest words of success to each and every one of you. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon muli at mabuhay ang pamilyang Señeres, ang lalawigan ng Sultan Kudarat at ang sambayanang Pilipinas. Thank you and good afternoon.